So, a seasoned entrepreneur, inventor, and founder of several companies, mainly in the fields of drug delivery. Eran Eilat, CEO and co-founder of NeoVac Ltd, is with us today to tell us about his inspirational story of how he's helping people around the world get better access to more potent vaccines. Eran, how are you today?
Very well, thank you.
Fantastic. Well, listen, firstly, thank you very much for taking the time. I know you're a busy man out of your busy day to join us on today's episode to share with us your story. It would be great if you can kick us off just with a background around what it is that you do and what services that you guys offer.
First of all, as I wanted to thank you for inviting me. We are actually as in the field of RNA technology, which means most of us got the COVID jabs. The COVID jabs are based on RNA technology, and actually this is the first time that this technology was used on people as in such a massive scale. The jabs are composed of two main components, the RNA and the lipid. While if you inject RNA to the body, it would decoy in a few seconds and do nothing but local inflammation, as it requires coating, like a vehicle, like a car, that will wrap it, protect it, carry it in the body, insert it into the cell, and then release it as in the right place. These are the lipids. We produce the lipids. So while the whole world is driving scooters, we have Tesla X.
Okay. So you're at that sort of leading edge of that transport system for the medicine.
Correct. For RNA.
Excellent. Okay. So how did you get into that industry? Tell us a little bit about what you did leading up to it and how you actually got into this.
In my background as I'm a physician, as I was trained in internal medicine. Then I did a PhD at the Weizmann Institute in immunology, as I developed their treatment for lupus, which is immune disease. This was acquired by a company named Teva. As I worked for Teva for 2 years, and then I started a small pharma company. As I developed their 5 products which are being sold in 40 countries worldwide. This company was acquired. Then I started a few startups based on my innovations. So there are 12 companies that I started. 6 of them succeeded, and then 6 of them failed.
Okay.
And during the COVID, as a good friend of mine, Professor Dan Peer, the vice president of the Tel Aviv University, called me as it showed me a very unique result. It took me exactly 10 minutes to realize that the person has only a few opportunities during your lifetime to really make a change in the world. So I left my family back home, and then I came here as in order to make a change in the world, to make this world a better place.
Amazing. So you spotted an opportunity very quickly in 10 minutes made a very a very big decision, a life-changing decision to do something pretty spectacular.
Correct.
Awesome. And you've had experience in businesses. So you started lots of companies. You've had 6 that have failed. So what would you say your learnings are from being a business owner? What are your biggest takeaways, and what are the biggest words of advice you can give other business owners?
Uh, the the first advice is never give up.
Okay.
Never give up. Perseverance is the most important quality for every entrepreneur. You would people would give you advices saying that this would not work. People will try to encourage you. While I listen to them, some of them are really smart people, but if you believe in what you're doing, go as and do it. Just do it.
Yeah, it's really inspirational because there's so many stories in history of, people never giving up, persevering, pushing through the boundaries, not listening to the naysayers and things like that. And it's such a shame that so often one of the biggest challenges business owners have is that self-sabotage, isn't it? It's that little voice in the back of your mind sort of going, it's not going to work, it's not going to work. And you listen to those voices, and so many great things have not happened because of listening to your own demons sometimes.
Right. And as in one of the biggest fear of each and one of us is the fear of failure.
Yeah.
Now, the fear of the failure can be paralyzing. Don't let it get into you. Just imagine your worst failure. If you survived it, then go ahead.
So it sounds like you've been through those challenging times. You've been through those times where you've needed that resilience and that persistence. You've had naysayers around you. So what sort of things did you do to keep driving you forward? What would you say are the sort of top 2 or 3 things that have helped you push through those challenging times?
There's only one thing: keep your eyes on the ball. Don't lose sight with your goal, with your target, with your vision. Once you take off your eyes from your goals, all you see are obstacles. So I'll handle those obstacles, but keep your eyes on the goal all the time.
That is so true, isn't it? Because once you stop focusing on that vision of where you want to go, you do. I mean, we're inherently wired to look for the challenges to over. Certainly, entrepreneurs looking for the problems to solve, aren't we? So you're always looking at the sort of negatives. Unless you've got that North Star driving you to keep pushing through, it can become overwhelming, can't it? To have all of those challenges and all those problems that you're being faced with.
It's pretty challenges, but to wake up every day, you know where you started. Not always, but sometimes. You never know when and how your day is going to end. This keeps you on your toes all the time. And the only problem is this is very addictive. Once as you become addicted to those thrills, to the butterflies that you feel all the time, every other job seems boring.
I can relate to that. So if you could wind back the clock and sort of do things differently, is there anything you would do differently if you had the opportunity to start again?
This is the big question as of the road not taken. During our personal life, as in during our business life, we always have choices to make. As in those, and Unfortunately, we always as have to make a one decision, a decision a one way or the other. And then you always wonder what would happen that if I would take the road not taken. So this can occupy you with endless thought. My suggestion to you would be don't bother. Just stick to your choices, as it's not important that what could have been has happened.
It reminds me of a it reminds me of a principle. I can't remember where it came from, but it's kind of the past is a great teacher, isn't it? It's a great opportunity to learn. But if you live in the past, you'll always be regretting or, sort of thinking, what if, why should, if I'd have done that, what have happened? The future hasn't happened yet. So it's kind of look to the future, but don't spend all your time in the future, because unless you do something about it, it's kind of never going to happen. So, spend your time in the present, be 100% present, focusing on what choices you've got today and actions you can take today.
You know that I always, though, when I have tough situations, they divide the world into two things that I cannot change, which is most of the things, and then things that I can change. As I'm trying to keep my focus, as in those are things that I can change.
So if you can influence something, then what can you do to influence it? If you can't influence it, then don't worry about it, or put it to the back of your mind. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, very good. Was it control the controllables, isn't it? Sort of work on the things that you can affect, as opposed
Yes.
to worrying
Yes.
about all the stuff that's going on around you you can't do anything about. Easy to
Right.
say, not so easy to do sometimes.
Right, but you should bear in mind that we have a certain amount of energy. It's not endless. What's the point of putting your energy as of what's going to be as in a debate between China as in the US? So there's nothing that I can do there. So as I might as well focus as on those issues that I can make a difference, like picking the right people, like raising more money for my companies. These are places that we can really make a change and as in have impact.
Yeah, it's great advice, because you can't do everything, but you can do something. So pick the things that really matter, that really are important to where you want to get to and what you're working on. Great advice. You mentioned team. So in terms of team, what sort of size team have you got at the moment?
We're now 25 people, but we're growing every month.
So what sort of things are you looking for in your team members? What sort of qualities and things are you looking to bring the right people on for your organizations?
So basically, startup is a different game. As a manager, if you can get at 100% from your employee, then most companies I would consider as a very good manager.
Mm-hmm.
As in a startup, you would be a failure. As if you don't get 120 percent as of your employee, then you fail. As it's the so this is why as I'm basically as I'm looking out for the soul players, people that believe as in what I believe, that we're here to make a change as in the world. It's not the money, it's not the workspace, as it's the vision, it's the mission. Everybody wakes up here, then he's got a mission. It's a part of the big story, and we are trying to, as I'm trying to run this company as in family style, where our everybody has a role, where everybody as is part of the mission. So this is the most important thing, since most of the other things you can teach, as if people are willing to learn, then you can teach them. You cannot teach as how to put your guts, as in your soul, in the company. Yeah.
So you're looking for people that really buy into and share your vision, the passion for what it is that you're doing, that sort of share your values and your culture. And in that, you're getting more engagement, more input from them because they're that passionate about it. So I guess there's almost an argument there for an existing company that's not a startup to act like a startup, to think like a startup. You know, you could be 10 years into your business journey, but if you potentially on that premise, if you think like a startup, act like a startup, and attract people that buy into that vision, what it is you're doing, the purpose of things, you can still get high performing employees in an established business.
I come from a country that was nicknamed Startup Nation.
Okay.
Startup, these are way of life. This is the way that you're raised, and as in belief to think like, and then I believe in it. I mean, I believe in thinking like your startup.
Yeah.
I never feel too comfortable about your position. I'll always be worried. Always look to be the best as in your field. Always look to be unique.
Again, there's lots of stories in history, isn't there, where companies have got complacent, got comfortable with their competitive advantage, and then lost it because they haven't had that mindset, that mentality to keep looking, keep growing, keep developing, you know, keep driving forward. Just got, like you say, complacent with where they are.
Yeah, we all know, as if you're old enough, you know the story of Kodak, or once a giant.
Yeah. Yeah, very true. There's plenty of them out there. Very good. So what do you see the future holding for you guys then? Where do you see the business going over the next 5 years?
So for every biotech company, which is our field, the main event is the clinical trial. You never know what's going to be, because this is the kingdom of the unknown. As in my career so far, as I did around 25 first in human clinical trial. This is actually a nightmare, as I'm not sure why I'm doing it again and again, as in again, because people always surprises you. Everything that you plan, not always is what you see. There's a lot of fear for me, you know, when there's a lot of responsibility when you give a new drug to people. As in, it's frightening because you don't know what would be the side effects. You can imagine, you can think about them, you can try to tackle them. This is frightening. So clinical trials is the main event in every biotech company, and we've just started ours. So these are really sleepless night, and bearing us in mind that the safety as of those people are my utmost concern.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a lot of pressure on you.
Yes.
A lot of pressure. How do you cope with that pressure? How do you deal with it? How do you separate your sort of work environment from your home environment?
As I wish that I could. I mean,
Yeah,
when you go home, you think about how to improve, how to make yourself better. There are always issues to resolve. So as I can't say that I have free time as or even weekends, you're all the time on alert as in working. So I'm not so good at life work balance. As I'm not the right guy.
yeah. I talk about it quite a lot now because there's that old saying, sort of work-life balance. But I think for a lot of entrepreneurs, it's more about work-life integration. It's kind of how
Yes,
because
exactly.
you can't, as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, you can't necessarily switch off your thoughts at 5 o'clock on a Friday afternoon, can you? Because it's part of you. It's part.
5 o'clock is good. The problem that it's more like 3 as a AM or 4
Yeah.
AM. This makes it even more complicated.
Well,
But
it's
you know,
carry on.
you're trying to do some physical activities, as I believe in a better thinking when you're walking or running. So as I'm trying to keep that, and especially when I have difficult decisions, as I take a long walk.
Yeah, physical activity, getting out in the air, getting out into nature,
Exactly.
keeping grounded.
Exactly.
It's an inspirational story. It's going to be fascinating to watch over the next few months and years and things like that. I wish you all the best. I'm sure that you'll achieve all of your goals and things because you're clearly a very driven, very motivated individual that's determined to get the results that you're looking for. Where can our listeners go to, sort of learn a little bit more about you or find out a little bit more about how your progress is being made?
So we've been, as until very recently, in a very stealth mode. But right now, you can go to our website. There's some general information. As in, of course, every inquiry is welcome because you can always learn from those.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Eran, again, thank you very much for taking the time out of your busy day to join us. It's been really, really interesting to listen to you. Thank you ever so much.
Thank you very much. This has been fascinating, and I'm honored.